Hi boys and girls, I'm back here with Blue and we are ready to finish up our story about Henry Matisse. So Puffer's asking Henry Matisse now if he'd made any other kinds of artwork besides paintings. And Mr. Matisse says, "Oh yes, after I moved here, I tried all sorts of art ideas and materials. I designed sets and costumes for a ballet. Then I learned about printmaking and how to make sculpture. I drew pictures for poems and a book. I created a mural. But as always, I painted and painted and painted. You were very busy then. I am still busy. Some days I make art while I sit in bed, just like when I was a young man. Many of my paintings show the inside of my studio. Others show what is just outside my window. May we see one of those paintings? I would be delighted to show you." So this page has a painting called Interior with Egyptian Curtain. And before I read you anything else, just look at this picture for a minute. I can see intersecting lines, vertical lines, parallel lines, perpendicular lines. I can see radial symmetry. That's a design that starts in the center and explodes out. There's all kinds of lines and repeats and patterns. So just take a minute and really enjoy it and see where your eye goes first. So here we go. "What do you see in this artwork?" Mr. Matisse asks Puffer. Let's see if Puffer agrees with what you see. "I see a large glass window with a black curtain hanging down one side. A red, yellow, green, and white pattern covers the curtain. Below the window is a small table. A bowl of fruit sits on the table. Outside is a palm tree that reminds me of exploding fireworks." "Excellent!" exclaimed Mr. Matisse. "You have found the most important objects in the painting. Do you see how the lines and colors are used in this painting?" "Well, the lines guide my eyes around the picture so that I see the most important objects. There are only a few colors. Having black next to the other colors makes them seem very bright." "Exactly," Mr. Matisse said. "What about space in this painting?" "The space is a little mysterious to me. I can't tell how far away any of the objects are." Mr. Matisse smiled and then asked, "All good artwork should have a little mystery, don't you think?" So now in this picture, I see a drawing of Pablo Picasso. You might remember that name from art class. As Mr. Matisse and Puffer sit out on the balcony, they see an unusual sailboat in the distance. "There's my old friend Pablo Picasso enjoying a sunny day," Mr. Matisse said. "When we were young, Pablo and I did not agree about much of anything. Nowadays, we're good friends who share our ideas and artwork. Pablo thinks that I'm the only artist in the whole world who's as good as him." "What an interesting friend you have, Mr. Matisse. I certainly agree. Are you ready to see more artwork?" Now, I'm just going to scan up here because Blue's been looking at a picture that Pablo Picasso did, and this is one of his abstract portraits, and this is also a drawing of a beast, and Blue really likes looking at pictures of other animals. But we're getting back to our story, and here is another Matisse. And Matisse shows Puffer a special work of art that is different from anything Puffer has seen before. And Mr. Matisse says, "This work of art is what I call a paper cutout." A paper cutout? My goodness, what is that? Paper cutouts are my own invention. I cut shapes from paper and then carefully paste the shapes into a background. I see that every color, line, and shape is in just the right place. I plan each paper cut out as carefully as I plan my paintings. Mr. Matisse said, "Can you tell what this is about?" And Puffer says, "I think it's about the circus. I see two yellow shapes that are acrobats who are leaping from their trapeze bars. Below them is a safety net made from black squares and rectangles. You're a good art observer, my friend, said Mr. Matisse. I have made many paper cutouts. Would you like to see another? And he says, yes. Now this one has been in the art room on a lot of occasions, so this might look familiar to you. Before I tell you the title of this paper cutout, I will let you describe what you see, said Mr. Matisse. Well, Puffer says, I see three main shapes. The three main shapes I think are people. The green shape pounds on a drum. The black shape strums a guitar. And the white shape dances. What do you think all of this means? Asked Mr. Matisse. It seems to be some sort of a celebration. Would you tell me the title now? Well, it's called The Sadness of the King, and it is a celebration. The king is celebrating his long life. Around him are all the things he has loved, replied Mr. Matisse. Would the king be you, Mr. Matisse? Some people seem to think so. Mr. Matisse, you have shown us that trying new art ideas can be difficult, but because you never gave up, you became a successful artist. Remember, making good art takes time and practice. Oh my goodness, speaking of time, it's time to go. I hope you had fun dropping in on Henry Matisse. Learning about artists and their artwork helps us to understand our world a little better. So I'm going to turn back to this page with this cutout, and today I'm going to ask you, if you're up for the challenge, to do a paper cutout. And you can cut out shapes, draw a little bit, cut a little bit, draw a little bit, cut a little bit, play with the shapes, like where you think you might like them to go. Now, if you have glue, you can glue your shapes down. But if you don't have glue, you could just lay the shapes down on a piece of paper or even a tabletop and just build your picture that way. It might not last as long as if you glued it down, but it'll last for a little bit and you can have some fun. Now, if you can, take a picture of your artwork because you know I love to see it. And Blue and I will see you soon. Boo Boo, want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye, or are you dreaming about Matisse and Picasso? I think she's thinking about them. So from Matisse and Picasso and Blue, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.